Well, dang. Let me turn on the mic. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back, Nick, boss. Let's see. We got Boss and Jack on Q. Welcome back. Yo, Feros. Welcome back. Feros. Yo, I'm never sure if I say your name right. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody that's here. Welcome back, everybody that watches in the future. I really appreciate it. And yeah, today is another live call-in show, so you can join the Discord. And Discord link is going to be in the show notes, I believe. I think I did it right. If you want to discuss Elden Ring or any other topic here, FromSoft related, or maybe other video games. Yeah, there's the question of the week. We on our Discord over here is, let me read it to everybody so everybody will know right off the bat. The question of the week is, when Enya mentioned seeing two great runes together once before, whose runes was she referring to, and which tarnish held them? And that is this week's question, right? And so if you want to call in and let me know what you think, the floor is open. And yeah, you know, let's see. Any welcome back, Jackal. Let's see. Anything else? No, I don't have any announcements because I don't ask for anything. I just want to hear what you got to say. All right, so let me see if I remember how to do this, and we'll start off right off the bat, and I think Boss was first. Let's bring Boss in the chat, and we'll see what he has to say. Bum bum bum. Let's see, Boss, you're up. Let's see. Oh wait, you know what? Okay, it's the second time, ladies and gentlemen. I'm trying my best. All right, here we go. Let's see if this works. Let me know if y'all can hear Boss or not when I bring him in. If he there it goes. Welcome.
Hey yo.
Hey, how's it going? Can everybody hear him before we begin? Yes. Yep.
Am
Okay.
I?
Yep. They can hear you, man.
That's good. That's good.
All right, man. So, welcome back. Thank you for calling back. I appreciate it, man. And thank you,
No
everybody
worry.
throughout the Discord that talks Elden Ring and other stuff, man. I really appreciate that. It's a lot of fun. It makes work
Oh yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it makes work go by really quick. So
Yeah, Canon, Spiral, Jackal, we're every day
up?
writing there.
Yeah, great set of
But
people there. Anyways, so man, you want to start with the question of the week, or did you want to start off with whatever you want to bring?
yeah, we can start with the question. I will explain some things before answering the question, but it's question related.
Okay, I got my coffee ready and I'm ready. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Sure, thank you. Well, it's me, Jaboy, Boss Hosser. So let's begin. The question is, who was the tarnish that got closer to the Elden Lord, and what were those Elden runes? Well, great runes, sorry. Well, the question may be more complex because we know Enya is a liar right now. So the question could be a trick question for us right now.
Okay.
But I was thinking of let me see. Well, I was thinking about different tarnished. I have a name that's pretty obvious, but I wanted to go back and search for every tarnished.
Okay.
And I got a system of tarnished.
Oh,
because we know not every tarnish got here first. Like they got gradually by waves.
yeah.
So I got a system of generations. Well, we have the first tarnish. That's the first generation. I actually have all the names on a paper, but I may say them, but not to say every tarnish in game. I'm gonna keep it quick
Okay.
for the tarnished. But yeah, the first generation, the ones I think they got here first, is Bike Dragon Spear. We know before his fall.
Uh-huh.
We have Isban, the Old Knight. So the name Old Knight that may lead us to be like he's really old.
Okay.
And we have Bagram, the Raging Wolf, the poster boy of Elden Ring
Yeah.
that you fight with Bernal, and Alberich, his buddy.
Okay.
He's to like the first gen. In the second gen, I actually got some tarnished that I didn't know how old they were, but to divide them, well, I got them to the second gen. Oh yeah, I was gonna tell you that every gen has a Elden Lord candidate. So the
Really?
first generation, the highlight of the generation of the first one is bike, obviously.
Okay.
That's like the star of that gen.
Okay.
Well, for the second generation, we have Targrov, the Bull Goat, Lionel. We have Jura, Eleonora that we talked in the Discord before.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think they're two gens because they're not that new to the Lands Between, but they're not that old. So I got them on the second gen, really.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and I was gonna tell you that the first gen Tarnished, they were like legendary heroes, honorary knights, but I do think the Round Table Hold like got a age of decay. So those great heroes left the Round Table Hold,
Okay.
and the second gen got the hold of the Round Table Hold. So the second gen guys are not that legendary.
All
Well,
right.
maybe Targrove is like the big protective guy.
All right.
But yeah, we have Jura, Eleonora, Neregers. That's the Red Dubia's owner, the Blood Knife. He's a bloody finger, but I know that bloody fingers are tarnished. So I wanted to get him here.
Okay.
And we can go over Juno Hoslo, Okina is a second gen tarnished. And we have Gideon Ofnir actually on the second gen because he's old, but he's not a legendary tarnished
Oh,
of the first gen.
you don't think he's a first gen? I would have put him in the first gen.
Well, he's like the most first gen of out of the second gens.
Oh, okay.
So I will give it to you that he's first, maybe.
Insha. Oh,
And we have for the highlight of the second gen would be Bernal
okay.
because Bernal is my secret weapon. He's actually tarnished. Yeah, he's a tarnished
Right.
that got to the forge, and his maiden died trying to be kindled.
Mm. Oh.
And we have a cut content of Sekiro Dewey of his maiden talking to us. Like it was gonna be a whole quest about her telling us about her failure.
Oh, really? I didn't know about that
So
content. You're teaching me
yeah, I
something new.
may upload it. Yeah, I can get it to the Discord later.
Okay.
But yeah, if he's a tarnish that got to the forge, I will guess he has two runes as well.
Okay.
But yeah, that's the second gen tarnished. And the third gens, I will tell that it's Royer, D. Well, both D's. Do you know the names of the brothers? It's Darian and Devon.
Right.
Yeah, and Corin, the cleric guy, he's not really important.
Everybody's important
And
somehow. Come on.
well, mostly. And we have Nefeli, obviously. She's pretty young in tarnished terms.
Uh huh.
We have Diallos, obviously.
Okay.
and we have Roderica and us for the youngest tarnish. That would be the third yen generation.
All right.
And obviously, we are the closest. We are the highlight of the third yen. So we have those three possible tarnish. Obviously, we don't count for the question. So we have bike and Benron.
Right.
But this is the but I'm doing worse the question really because it's not only one tarnish now, it's two. And other than two runes, there's now four mystery runes.
Right.
So where does these great runes come from? There's demigods we don't know of. They were laying around, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, my answer would be Bernal, really,
Oh,
because but yeah, because Bike got the frenzy flame whole thing, and they would censor that, so they wouldn't count Bike, and he's like sealed away. So that would be like a stain in their story.
okay.
So yeah, I would like to say Bernal is the tarnish Enya refers to, because Bernal is not that well. He went to the blasphemy route
Right.
with being a recusant, but he wasn't that frenzy guy.
But with him turning away from the Church of the Two Fingers, from the Tarnished Collective, or you could say, wouldn't that also make him a stain that they wouldn't bring up?
I guess. Well, she never mentions them by name, but I think his sins are far lesser than Bike,
Okay.
because Bike got but whole retconned basically. He got sealed up. No one talks about him. Well, at least Well, you know what? I actually was thinking Bernal was a first gen before,
Uh-huh.
while making this information, because Bernal gets you to fight Bagram and Alberich.
Okay.
So he may have beef with them, maybe. But but I would like to put Bernal on the second gen, because Bike is a dragon spear. He got as a maiden to teach him the lightning with Lanasex. So
Right.
Lanasex pretty old.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I would definitely put Viking with him knowing the ancient dragon incantations, he would definitely be towards the beginning.
Yeah, one of the first.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty good, man. That's pretty good. But I'm not going to
Yeah,
give my answer yet. But I think your answer is
yeah,
pretty good, man. It made me
yeah. So
think about some stuff. I'm gonna have to quickly
yeah, some would
adjust.
say it's Marcus Great Rune and Radagon's, or maybe Rani's, or maybe Godwin's Great Rune.
Uh,
But sadly, I think we're not getting told how much got left by the chattering, because we're playing of what remains of this tarnish process. Like the tarnish got cold after the demigods failed and dragged out their war,
huh.
and we, the protagonists, are being called because the tarnished were the same as the demigods. No one got close. Those who got close left the mission. So we're getting the left outs of the left outs, really.
Yeah. Hmm.
But yeah, I got the question worse. So in conclusion, there's not one tarnished, there's two tarnished, and there's not two great runes, there's four.
Okay.
And maybe Gideon after has one more, because he tells you at the start of the game
Uh-huh.
that, oh, you need a great rune to be a proper tarnished.
Right.
So does he have a great rune as well?
Well, if you think of it that way, do all of them have great runes then if they're there?
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
Diallo's may not have one.
Why?
So
I think
because
I mean, if you're looking at
well,
the if you're looking at it that way, I would say that each one of them has a great rune, maybe. But and that would bring up
yeah,
then
yeah, that would be too much.
whose great runes would everybody have? Then that's and that would make an interesting concept that would tie in with the rest of the game, especially the endings, the uh,
Yeah,
the synoptic endings, which would be really interesting.
maybe, but I do think the most important tarnish got the great runes, like getting off near Bernal, Bike, and every other tarnish were like an important figure. But yeah, and maybe Gideon after asks you of another great rune because maybe the third gens no one gets a great rune, no one got one.
Uh-huh.
So he's like high up the bar of quality for you, for just you.
Okay.
But
Hmm.
but yeah, we don't really know where these mystery great runes got here, and we may have a situation that maybe more demigods remained in the Shatterin and got killed off screen
Right.
in the long process of Tarnish arriving, maybe.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's my question, not answering the question, basically.
Okay.
It was really interesting.
It was, and it really makes me. It really makes me think about a few things, like how many more demigods were there? Were they all related to
Yeah,
America, or were they related, to the Glomite Queen, or were they just whatchamacallit? Were they just Empyreans that were labeled demigods because of their status? Uh, it who are the ones that are in the mausoleums? Um,
yeah,
it's really a really quite interesting little a little
yeah. Maybe
what
maybe I was
yeah.
thinking about the fortresses we have along the world. So maybe those fortresses before being absorbed under that faction belong to a minor demigod, just as Godric. Maybe
Uh-huh.
that would be my guess if I need to put another demigods, like other demigods,
Okay.
like those minor castles over the map. But yeah, that would be a wild guess. We don't really have any solid evidence, really.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I like it. I like where you're going with this. I like it. I like it a lot.
But yeah,
Is there anything else you want to discuss?
well, I wanted to discuss only a little bit to not hold you here hostage.
I'm not hostage,
Is
bro.
your video,
Which one?
well, it's your video about Pharmasula, the latest one.
Okay, let's discuss it. Ask me
Well,
or tell
I
me.
was I was gonna address the details about the dragons flying over Pharmasula
Okay.
because I was gonna tell you that not every Drake got off the side of Baal, and not all Asian dragons got off the side of Placidusax. We actually have a Asian dragon trader in the Jagged Peak. Is that guy in the mini lake?
Oh, you're talking about Cinesax or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, Bolsax. Yeah, he's horrible. That line is horrible. But yeah, well,
You think that ancient dragon is a traitor?
well, we do have a some evidence of it because the throwing jar of lightning, it tells that some traitor Asian dragons got
Uh-huh.
another type of Asian lightning. It's like the fulgurring. It's like jumping lightning. So what he does actually.
Uh-huh.
So that's my proof that Asian dragons betrayed Basilusak as well. So maybe all the dragons in Pharmasula are the ones who didn't betray him. And that
Okay.
would explain the naming convention I was asking in the Discord
Uh-huh.
before. Like why the modern dragons in the lands between are called dragons and not drakes, if
Okay.
they're similar to their Jagged Peak cousins. Well, I was thinking that dragons in the lands between were the dragons who sided with Placidusax, so they were not called drakes, but dragons.
Okay, I see. I can see that. I can see that. But uh,
Yeah, that would be
but I
that.
would
Yeah.
it what I believe and from what I understand, well, I don't really understand a lot, but from what I believe, I'll say this. that the Cinesax that we see, it's Cinesax, right? It starts with an S, right?
Yeah, Senesax. Yeah.
What I believe when I first encountered that dragon, that ancient dragon there, I believe that it was more like a prison guard. Like the mountain is a giant, and Placidusac
Mm.
set her there, or it was or it there, to make sure that Bale doesn't come off that mountain. So he's always up there, imprisoned up there, waiting for somebody to come kill him. And if Cinesax, if the Dragon Slayer or Dragon Warrior can get past Cinesax, then they have a higher chance to killing Bale, or if they evade her
Yeah,
or anything.
that
So,
sounds plausible.
well, that's the way I saw it, and I've seen a lot of people,
Yeah.
say what you just said, that she was a traitor, and that's
Yeah.
quite possible,
Maybe I can get the jar information. I can get it later. I can put it on the Discord
right?
to
And
see if the information is right.
the jar, and I don't disagree with that. Some ancient dragons probably sided with Baal, and some of the drakes sided with Placidusax. I don't dispute that, but the only thing is that just because it says in a jar there doesn't mean that it's a connection to Cinesax, right? So
Yeah, of course.
it's really open to interpretation, and I see it as a guardian or a jail keeper to make sure he doesn't ever come off that mountain, that he stays there and waits until somebody kills him. But
Yeah.
talking about the death of Bale, I know I think I said it in the Discord, but did you ever read that theory that Bale is a goat? And it may be, it might be.
A goat.
I think it was Jack is a mimic. I, I know I reference him a lot. I
Oh,
do watch a lot of his videos, but I've seen so many, so it might be
yeah, he's
him,
great.
or it might be a
Well,
Reddit post.
he said Bale was a mimic and now a goat. And I heard as well that Bale was like the Omen version of a dragon as well.
Right. Well, in the goat theory, right? In the goat theory, if you read Bale's heart or something like that, it talks about, like, if you consume the heart, it eventually, Bale's essence will eventually overtake the person, and Bale will be alive again. You will become
Oh,
Bale, kind of like Wilder becomes the Night Lord in
he
it,
also, yeah.
yeah. So the theory, as weird as it is, it went something along the lines that the goat ate a piece of Bale's heart or something from after a battle and stuff, and that's why that's why Bale has the goat horns, the inverted horns and stuff like that. And I thought it was a very
Hmm.
funny theory, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I buy it.
Who knows? But I was thinking that if they're going a extra mile to imply Bale doesn't die with you and keeps going, maybe on a Elden Ring 2 we will get to see the aftermath of Bale.
Oh,
It
like,
reminds me of Priscilla from the first game
uh
that
huh,
you can like go and kill her technically, but she keeps going on. Or Gwendolyn from the first game. So you can go and kill him from in a different route of Honor Orlando,
uh
but
huh,
he gets to the third game.
right,
So maybe Bale is an alternative boss, and it's implied to revive eventually. So we may meet him again
right.
someday. Who knows?
And talking about Gwendolyn, I think in Dark Souls 3, he had a sad ending. To think that,
Oh yeah, of course.
what was his name? The
Aldrich.
Aldrich ate him, and I remember when I saw that the first time, I was like, "What?" I'm like, "I wow, I just can't believe that. What a horrible horrible fate." Yeah.
Yeah, I think Gwendolyn makes some noises if you clipped through the fog wall before
Oh
entering.
no,
So yeah.
I wish I didn't know that.
Well, now you know.
Now I know. Now I'm gonna go. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Don't worry. At your service.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Yeah. Anything else you want to? Go.
Well, I was maybe for the end of
Uh
this, I
huh.
was thinking about the time whole topic of Pharmasula. And
Oh.
I will agree with you about your statement that Plastidusax is the only one in that time bubble.
Uh huh.
but Pharmasula has some exterior influence as well because the sun never sets,
Right.
and maybe it's been crumbling some for time immemorial in that quote.
Right.
Is that maybe it would be like a Ringed City situation? Like the Ringed City is always in the same state in a time bubble, but
Uh-huh.
it's degrading. It's like crumbling as well,
Right.
but not from exterior uh, happenings. Like the outside cannot influence in Pharmasula, but if it crumbles by itself, it would be seen as crumbling as well, just like the Ringed City. I do see some similarities in both places.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look at the Ring City lore again because I don't remember the Ring City. Oh, I guess you're right. It is in a time bubble because if you wake up Felinora, yeah, you know what?
Yeah, it bursts
Oh
and
yeah,
it gets destroyed as well.
I'm gonna have to contemplate that. I'm gonna have to smoke on that one, man. That's a good
So
that's
maybe
a good
if
one.
so maybe you burst the time bubble in Pharmasula, it would crumble at the same time, like fully.
Right.
All the years that it's been holding out, it would blow up.
Well,
Actually,
the only pushback I would have on that about the statement, and maybe I wasn't clear in the Discord, is that the fog that surrounds the lands between, it's some type of magical fog, and
yeah, like a
and
barrier.
and I don't understand how the light, the sun, and I'm doing quotes like everybody can see me, my finger quotes, but I don't understand
Yeah.
how that could work, right? Because we know that inside the fog time works as well. We don't know outside the fog how time works, and this inside this fog, it could be something up, but I don't know how to answer that. So you everybody who brings that up, you got me. I don't know what to say.
Well, the fog, Miyazaki loves to use the fog mechanic. It was first seen in Demon Souls that the fog was engulfing the whole world and Boletaria, and it was like a timeless, uh, n- like like melding space and time. Like the fog would be the phenomenon itself.
Right.
And
Okay.
in Dark Souls, well, the ancient dragons had a fog and archtrees.
Right.
It may represent like timeless as well. But
Oh.
yeah, the fog in Elden Ring, we have that fog and Caligo from Night Rain as well. Like she's the miasma of the
Right.
fog as well. And she's like this really ancient dragon, yada yada yada. Well, Albina from Dark Souls One actually, like the cat before Sif,
Yeah.
like the big wolf. She's too like a foggy creature, and really ancient most likely.
Hmm.
But yeah, maybe the fog is a term Miyazaki loves to use of making a place like above the mortal realm, like
Uh-huh.
outside of it as well. Like
Yeah.
before,
Oh.
like there's no space. Well, let me get my words straight. Like the lands between maybe like outside the mortal realm itself, like disconnected. Maybe the fog is the disconnection, not it's like the time flows differently. But just like the Shadowlands, you need to do something to get there as well.
Right. And you know what? I will agree to that. That it is the disconnection. Something about it disconnects everything from itself.
Yeah, because we don't see any fog when we
Yeah.
see over the horizon, so it could mean something else.
Right. Right. Okay. Cool, man. Cool. All right. Well,
But yeah,
let me grab somebody else and bring them in. And
sure, let's go.
man, I really appreciate the conversation, man, and I hope to hear from you again, especially on Discord.
Sure, as always. Yeah,
All right, man. Well, take it easy. I'll talk to you next time.
sure. Goodbye, everyone.
Later, man. Let's see. I don't know how to do this like that. All right. I think the next person we have is Jackal. Jackal. Okay. I hope Jackal's there. And I will bring him in. Bum bum bum. Oh, Jackal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I can hear you, man. Welcome back to the show.
It's good to be back.
Yeah, thank you, man. I'm glad you're here. Uh, do you want to start with the question of the week, or would you like to start somewhere else?
I was going to start with the question of the week, but I need to clear something up. We have got to stop this slander of both Enya and Rajier. We know damn well they're not liars.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes,
The
nothing they
stage
have
is
ever
yours.
stated to us in game is contradictory.
Uh-huh.
I looked.
Oh, yeah. You think so? D-
Yes.
Man, I don't know about that. Man, I I'm gonna have to. You know what? I'm gonna have to look it up, and you know what? I might make a video about that and see. Tell me more. Expand on that, man. You're
Okay, well, I won't go too much into Rajier unless you need me to, but for Enya, in regards to our question of the week, where she says only once before has she seen two great runes together.
okay.
Um, there's also a lot of talk about like, of course, she goes behind the backs of the two fingers that she serves and everything and all that. Like, I'm not disagreeing that she's manipulative. I believe Rogier is just as manipulative, but nothing they've said to us was a contradictory lie.
Uh huh.
That's basically where I'm standing on.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
I I can't think of anything that she said that is contradictory. But uh, to move on to the question of the week,
Okay.
um, so I didn't go as far as what Boss did of like listing generations of Tarnished and who came in what age or whatever. I didn't think it had to go that deep, but I did boil it down to Vike and Bernal. Um, so when you asked me before how much I put stock into cut content,
Yeah.
um, that was kind of like where I had to pick up some pieces first because starting out didn't seem to make sense until everything so do you recall when I asked if the Chapel of Anticipation was the true starting point of all Tarnished or just ourselves?
Yes, I remember that.
Um, so thinking on that more, I think that might have been I think that might have been at least, if not the only starting point, one of the more common ones, because there is evidence of like even more recent bridge work that would have connected to Stormvale um, had it not been destroyed. But of course, those structures are much later in the archaeology of that area, mostly due to the fact because it's all made of like loose wood that's probably decayed for a few centuries at most. Um, and Stormvale is in the state of it we see it in. But I'm kind of thinking that if that is the case, then both Vike and Bernal starting with Godric makes a lot of sense for what I'm about to say later.
Okay.
Um, so, starting with Bernal, we find him in the War Master's shack in Limgrave. He teaches us Ashes of War, and he's just an all-around stand-up guy. With, by comparison, that he doesn't, rip our throats out. Um, but we don't have any clear indication of why Vike would have been in Limgrave, unless Stormvale was just right off the bat. Um, until I got to the cut content, where Vike was actually a summonable NPC and even interactable, giving you, I guess, a set of boluses. I forget which one. But he was summonable in the fight against Godric, along with another NPC that would have been named Gilbert.
Huh.
I believe he got replaced by Witch Hunter Jaren.
Okay.
Um, so there's also the state we find Godric in after he's defeated. He becomes completely quadriplegic. Both of his arms and legs are gone. Um, and in cut content, he's just describing I guess an old Tarnished poem. But I think what's more interesting is the state we find Godric in is quite different than how we see, well, I guess different and similar in how we see other demigods. With Rykard and let's say Melania, they're in different states because of their union with the primordial forces they embody. But with Morgott, you see him as just a regular dude laying down on the floor. Um, and at first I thought, if Bernal was the one who defeated Godric, he might have amputated his limbs before defeating him. Um, Probably because until the Rune of Death is unbound, the demigods couldn't really die. They
Right.
can just be immobile, almost corpses that don't function. But that's not to be said that they couldn't function later.
Hmm.
So to answer part of the first question, I believe the first rune that was claimed by the Tarnished was the rune that Godric had.
Okay.
Now, I've later changed my stances on Godric being defeated by Bernal because looking back at even like the first trailer of the game, we do see Godric performing
A grafting.
a grafting. Yep. And on what I believe is his original arm, just increasing it in size. But then I started to think, well, okay, then why would all of his limbs be gone if he's only attaching bits of his arm and his leg? And then I'm thinking, well, maybe he might have cut it off again and then put bigger things on. Because it's not just the tarnished Godric wants. He takes a dragon, even a troll. I don't even know what else he's got. There's some parts when they remind me of an Erd Tree Avatar.
Right. Like one of his
Um,
legs, isn't it? Like a misbegotten or something.
at least in shape, like there's a lot going on there, and like Godric's a really good designed first boss. All things considered, like Stormvale's a fun place to go through, but but I do believe Godric may have been the first demigod to have his rune taken. Um, because he has this almost fascination with Tarnished, even in cut content by Sekiro Dubai. He makes the statements from somewhere for his soldiers to bring him a Tarnished or a new branch to add to his tree of limbs, sort of deal. Um, Regardless if it was Vike or Bernal, one of the two must have gone to Stormvale Castle because we know Godric owns it after the events of the Shattering, which means someone came through, bested all of his knights, defeated him, took his rune, and proceeded onward. Um, which brings me to Liurnia.
Okay.
But before I get to that, I'm going to make something clear. I think the demigods we find in the game now as might just be the only ones who had the shards of the Elden Ring. And the reason I say this is because the demigod bodies we find in the wandering mausoleums,
Okay.
I don't believe are from Dell, but might have been something that the Nox created, made, had, done, whatever verb is appropriate. But I don't think those are necessarily America's children.
Oh, kind of like the ones that we find in the Land of Shadow. Those three. They're just
No, I'm talking about the ones in the like the ones with the heads missing that you can
right. Right.
replicate your remembrances.
But I'm saying you know they're just a random demigod like the three that we find in the Land of Shadow. There's no connection to America at all. You know, unless you
Right,
think there
like
is a
there might be
connection.
like multiple. Well, probably a topic for another day, but
Right.
um, I don't believe the ones in the wandering mausoleums are from like the night of like victims of the night of Black Knives. They might have been a whole different affair entirely.
Okay.
Um, which again, so the reason um, I don't believe Renala's rune was taken, because when we encounter her, she's in a room full of juvenile scholars who are supposed to be reincarnated regular scholars, who probably tried to supplant Renala and remove her from the location, but she probably fought back and with using the rune of the unborn, um, uh, reincarnated them. But my other reason is also for the number of them that we find. Renala had to have been there for a while, constantly re, re recreating them. And I don't think they're tarnished because if a tarnished is defeated, it's just we're just removed from the game entirely unless we have grace, so we can just keep coming back. But
Okay. Yeah.
the scholars are being reborn without any kind of we'll say guidance, proper guidance for Renala to do, which is why they're always so very short lived. But with the amount that she has, I think they're like almost 30 of them in there. I could be overballing it, but
Yeah. There's something like that.
I think she'd
Maybe
have to have
more.
had them for a long while in order for her to have that many, which means her rune must have not have been taken. And another reason I believe this is because I there's no set of fingers that gives benediction to the rune of the unborn.
Oh, you know what?
Um,
Yeah, I never considered that, but you're right. There are. Okay. Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead. Good job.
I want to cross Moog and Radon off of the list because Mikola needs them defeated in order to progress his plans, and they haven't been.
Mm.
I'm crossing Rykard off the list because, in a similar aspect to Renala, he also is carrying a great deal of souls with him. And I don't think he would have been able to hold on to them all if he had been defeated before. Even if he would have like returned to that gargantuan size, he would have had to start all over again. And I
Mm.
don't think he had enough time to do that.
Yeah. Mm.
Which leaves and Melania, she has never known defeat or defeat. But
Okay.
let's see. Oh yeah, and in order to even reach her, you'd have to get the rolled medallion from was it O'Neill or Nile
I,
from
I
Castle Soul?
I think it's Nile. Well,
Yeah, but I do believe where we find items is specifically where they are in that given point of time. So it wouldn't make sense if somebody defeated Nile, went to the Halig tree, and then all of a sudden they got defeated by Melania, and then the medallion was given back because probably Mikola wouldn't have been able to return to give it back.
right.
But and of course I'm crossing Mikola off the list for obvious reasons,
Hmm.
which leaves me with two, Ronnie and Morgot.
Ronnie and Morgoth.
Um, yes.
Okay.
So I less so think it's Morgoth because one, when we defeat him, he's no longer an omen; he's a regular dude. Um, but two, there's a lot of actions he takes that's very interesting in regards to, especially Mike, but actually even Bernal as well. One, Bernal has access to Langdale, and we even assist him in fighting both Vargrim and what was the other guy's name? Um,
The
Hieronis, and
Oh
um,
yeah,
the sorcerer,
yeah.
um, Wilhelm. That was his name. Uh, we help Bernal fight Vargrim and Wilhelm, um, and also the same area in which Aldrich is sitting at because he's also perished by some means. So Tarnished have infiltrated the city of Langdell before, but maybe at the time they didn't have 2 runes to do it. Because by the time we reach Lingdale, we do need the blessing of the 2 fingers to pass through because they're the ones blocking our way.
Oh, okay.
So my theory is that aside from Vike making his way to Langdale, several Tarnished were not only able to get past the Dragon Knight, which I believe might have been put there because of how much traffic that area had gotten. Um, but also, Morgott eventually had to also put a seal in 2 locations. The first was leading to the mountaintops of the Giants. The
Right.
second was in the Flame of Frenzy prescription,
Right.
go underground.
Yep. Right there
So
before you reach the what's that tribe? The Great Caravan people, the
yeah,
merchants.
and at first I thought, well, he kept it there just to keep the whole thing hush hush. But then I thought, well, why would Morgott care about the caravan unless he was more scared about the threat of the frenzied flame? And we also see Moog there, but to be honest, I'm not entirely sure why he's projecting himself in that location because I don't see Moog as thinking that, oh no, the frame of frenzy really needs to be stopped. Because if he had lands to the access to the lands of shadow, um, I would have felt like he wouldn't have just been content to like not know who Midra is and what that whole deal is. And you have to like, well, actually, now that I think about it, I'll get back to that later.
Yeah, I mean
But
that's a pretty good discussion right there.
Morgott especially blocks the frenzied flame prescription and the mountaintops to the giants, and I believe for 2 reasons.
Okay.
Well, actually, I believe only for one specific reason, and I think it's because of Vike. Because Vike, with 2 runes in hand, would have been able to get past, go to the front mountaintops of the giants, but then come back and go to return to the Flame of Frenzy. I believe Morgott saw what Vike was doing and realized, okay, if I'm to prevent this from ever happening again, because Vike is imprisoned in an ever jail at the mountaintops. I believe I think either he surrendered or someone from Langdale captured him. Um, because Morgott was so frightened about the possibility of a Lord of Frenzy that he blocked 2 places. Because I don't think I think the seal was meant so that if he did escape the jail, he could not return to Langdale. Or
Okay.
you know what, that might not have been relevant because he would have. Hmm.
So,
But either way,
yeah, but that's a good interpretation there because I never thought about it being coming from that direction. I always assumed that it was to go from Lindell to the mountaintop to the Giants to go to the forge, and that he had put that there so you couldn't go to the forge at all. But
well,
I never thought about
Morgoth's a
preventing.
clever.
Yeah, that's a good idea there, man. Pretty
Well,
smart.
Morgoth's a clever fox. He might have thought that he would have killed 2 birds with one stone by preventing another tarnish from reaching the mountaintops and preventing Vike from coming back. It might have been preventative for both measures. But that leads me to Ronnie, and the the reason I believe it must be hers and Godric's rune that one of the 2 had held, because Ronnie was said to have discarded her rune,
Right.
not destroyed it, not like, well, I guess thrown it away, but just discarded, meaning that the rune must have still been present um, even after she died.
Okay. But
Which,
can I
go
ask a
ahead.
question? Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
All right. So when the word discarded is used, right? She also uses the word discarded to kill her body, right? So could it be that they're using the word in the same fashion of instead of using it to say destruction or destroyed or broke, but to make the game or the lore seem more ambiguous, could it be possible that they're using discarded as well to in the same manner that she says she discarded her flesh or whatever, her body, but we know she killed it.
we know she killed her own flesh, but the way she's using the word discarded in terms of that is like her flesh is not just her. She is at her core her spirit. And so the detachment of one's body was probably more of a philosophical discarding rather than like I'm destroying the body because the body's still there. We
Uh-huh.
find it. We find out she did the whatnot from her body.
Oh,
But when Mikola breaks his rune, not only do we find it in a broken state, but we also like gain a message that that the rune was broken. Um, Now we do get the information from Gideon when he says that Ronnie discarded her rune,
right.
and I'm not going to tolerate him being a liar either because he doesn't tell us anything contradictory either.
What a liar.
But how dare you? But it, if Gideon is simply just passing on secondhand information, then it would probably make sense that if anyone was there to witness or at least be in the vicinity of Ronnie breaking or destroying her great rune, somebody would have noticed that and probably relayed that to somebody as investigative as Gideon.
Right.
So I think the choice of wording is very important here.
Mm.
Um,
But I guess to culminate everything I've said, my answer to right, of course, so my answer as to which is it Vike or Bernal that had the two great runes, I think it was Vike.
Okay.
Um, we find Bernal in Fair Missoula eventually. He helps us with the fight with the Godskins, and then he jumps us somewhere else, and we get the Blasphemous Claw. What was it? Oh, right. Uh, but I don't think Bernal had ever reached Fair Missoula before until we opened the way. And the reason I believe that is because we also find Alexander there if we did his quest line.
Right.
Um, Now, Alexander's not a tarnished, he's a jar, and he would not have had a maiden to have burned herself to get him here, which also leads me to believe that the Flame of Ruin might not just be a means to burn the Erd Tree, but also as a connection or tether for individuals to reach Farum Azula.
Hmm.
I'm not sure, because like seeing Alexander just go to Farum Azula without like a sacrifice of any kind uh, is mind-boggling unless you consider the fact that maybe we just left a bridge open, regardless of who burned themselves. But
Okay.
that is why I believe that Bernal might have also came in after we did, because um, also from his backstory described earlier, yeah, he did have a maiden. She did try to sacrifice herself to the fire, but nothing came of it. Bernal was never able to reach this place. And I'm also thinking that if Vike had attempted the same, he might not have been successful either. That instead of his maiden burning herself, he realized maybe she wasn't a kindling maiden after all in order to perform the task, and that he would have to sear his own flesh instead.
Interesting. Yeah. Let me. Can I ask a question? Okay. If
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
let me ask you a question. Just about Benar real quick, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when we do the recruiting quest line, right, and the what's her name, Tanith, gives us people to go assassinate or murder, right? She gives us the Hoslo,
Yeah.
Juno Hoslo, I think his name, in the mountaintops. We can't go invade him or go after him until we physically go there ourselves. So if Bernal is in Farum Azula, that tells me that he was there, because otherwise he wouldn't be able to invade us unless he had been physically where we are to come get us. You know what I mean?
So to answer that with another question, Why then would Alexander have been able to reach Fair Missoula?
Okay.
And why would Vike's description be the one where he was described as being the closest?
Okay.
Because there is official descriptions for that.
Right. There is, and I don't dispute that. As for Alexander first, for Alexander, that would fit right in line with what I was discussing on the Discord. That I don't think Fair Missoula is outside of time, only the arena where Placidusax is, and so that means that Alexander got there either by some other physical means, or he used like a belfry or something like that. Because we know there's if we can get to Fair Missoula, just our character ourselves gets there two different ways. One burning their tree, one by the belfry, but depending on where you go, gameplay wise, you're just stuck if you use the
Well,
belfry.
the contradiction to that is the part of the belfry that leads to Fair Missoula only leads to a small part. We can't really
Right, but
we can't go anywhere from that point.
exactly. But what I'm saying is that if there's already two ways to get someplace, there's probably another way. And if there's another way, there's another way. Just like there's multiple ways to get into the Land of Shadows, right? Or the Shadowlands or Land of Shadows. I don't want to mix it up with World of Warcraft. But there's got to be multiple entrances to every place, just like there is multiple entrances to the lands between. We just don't. Every tarnish doesn't just show up in the Church of Anticipation.
Well, that I'm not entirely sure about.
Well, I'm pretty sure of that, and the only reason I'm pretty sure of that is because it's only because of the map. If we look at the map, we see people are sailing in and out and stuff like that. And if we look at what's the scholar? I saw a video on the scholar and from Night Rain and something about you go through the gate of the fog or something like that. You know what? I'm not even going to bring that up. I'm not even sure on it. Don't quote me on that one. But so I understand from what I see in the base game and the DLC, there's multiple ways to get to someplace. So Alexander being in Fair Missoula lets me know that he found another way than we did. And if he did that, that means it's not outside of time, but it's in a magical setting, much more magical than the lands between because it's in the fog, and whatever the fog is, it's different. So
if that's the case,
go ahead.
Then my question about Bernal is, if not for means, then what would be his motive to not seek lordship? Because he most certainly tried.
He did.
And we do know that even after he becomes a recusant, even if he didn't feel like going through and slaying Malekith and unleashing the Rune of Death, he certainly seems gung-ho about it when we reach Fair Missoula. Mostly because he's carrying the very item that would have been able to contest him or parry him.
Right.
So I don't think the motive was holding him back. I think just he lacked a kindling maiden to get him there.
Let's see. So what was your question? What was his
motive would Bernal have for not following through on defeating Malekith?
Okay.
When he got to Fair Missoula before?
I would say it would be disillusion. He got disillusioned because like Vike, Vike it kind of implies that, he may have had romantic feelings for his maiden. Bernal probably had that. A lot of the players have that for Melina because, travel with somebody, you experience a lot of things. It's a natural occurrence to have romantic feelings with somebody after like a trying experience, something that's very stressful and stuff like that.
So another question I would have then is, wouldn't have Bernal's maiden have told him that that's what awaited her at the journey's end, that she would have to burn herself? Because if we do look at content for Bernal's finger maiden, she almost seems like she's confused, that she thinks we're Bernal when we speak to her,
Uh-huh.
and that she says, "Oh, good Lord, great tarnished Lord Bernal, I finally done it. I finally found a means to acquire the vision of flame." Or I'm paraphrasing here, but the whole cut quest is about her finally seizing a vision of flame so she could become a kindling maiden.
Okay.
Um, and the fact that she was also ready to do this to herself beforehand, I feel like she must have discussed it with him before.
Maybe. I'm not sure
And
about this
like
content. I've never seen it, right? So,
I think Bernal would also kind of be tough enough to like be able to let her do it, to let the whole
uh
to let the
you
his
think
maiden
that.
burn, because
You think that, but
we're not entirely sure if because I know Melina knocks us out for, I guess, to prevent us to interfere, but
right.
we can't say the same for other finger maidens.
Right, or other tarnish, but the thing is that we don't know if he was strong enough, because when you're say that you've experienced all this stuff, he has really strong feelings for her, and he's like, no, I don't want you to do it, or don't do it, and she dies and she burns up, and he gets to, and nothing happens, and it's just not what he expected, right? He doesn't accept this sacrifice for what the cost for, what am I trying to say? The cost was too high for the end goal for Bernal. If I would say that his motivation for not going and then going against the Erdtree, the cost was too high. And for Vike, it was his vengeance for losing her, for her being dead. He sacrificed everything and she died anyways. His anger is what drove him, and then the pain of the loss of the price was too high for Bernal, and that's why he turned against the Erdtree. He saw it as, these kindling maidens are killing themselves for what reason? He just gave it up. That's the way I would see it, if that makes sense.
But I do want to. I would say that either way, Bernal ultimately um, failed to become Elden Lord, because when his maiden died, nothing happened.
Right.
When Melina dies, or again, we are transported, and Vike was trying to prevent his maiden from dying, which means he knew something was going to happen, or at least had the impression that he did. Or at least maybe his maiden probably realized she wasn't a kindling maiden, and so Vike would have probably had to made the decision to become the Lord of Frenzy in order to follow through. Um,
Oh, you know what? You, you,
which is probably another point as to why Vike would have probably been closer.
right. You know what I just thought of? Perhaps the whole maiden thing was a lie as well. It was a deception to keep the tarnish on the hamster wheel forever in a cycle. The maidens go kill themselves, but nothing ever really happens because they're not Melina. They're not a demigod. They don't have the fire within them, so they're just throwing themselves in the fire, giving hope to Tarnish and Banar. He sees the truth. Vike doesn't understand. He doesn't realize what's going on, and so he takes on the frenzy flame to protect his maiden, but she dies anyways. And it's all a lie. It's all propaganda to keep the cycle going. That's, oh man. Oh, I'm glad you brought this up. That's a pretty good. Yeah.
My my question for that is, whose motivation is it to keep this all going? Because the fingers need somebody to become Elden Lord. That they, despite who it is, they do need the cycle to continue. And Gideon Ofnir also says that m- uh, I forget what he says specifically, but that America wants us to struggle unto eternity.
Right.
Um,
Which is a lie.
well, depends. Um, but the point is, the point is I believe Vike probably was the closest to becoming Elden Lord, and I believe the runes he had was both Godric's and Ronnie's.
Okay.
And another reason I believe this is because if you take into closer consideration, Godric's rune may have just more represented Godwin as a whole, and Godwin and Ronnie were practically just the two individuals that set this whole thing off.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess what I'm trying to say here is, in a sense of theming, it would probably make the most sense if the remnants of Godwin and Ronnie were what was needed to fix this mess in the first place.
Interesting.
And yeah, that's my answer.
Oh, that's a good answer, man. And you, I may have gotten the question of the week now for this coming up week from this discussion. I'm gonna have to write it down.
Oh, hooray!
Oh man, good. Hold on, let me write this down before I forget, because I'm kind of old. Let's see. All right, let's see. Let me open a document real quick. Is there anything else you would like to add or anything or ask before I let you go?
Aside from this, Night Rain is Star Wars.
Oh yeah, yeah. Explain that real quick, just so the listeners can
All right,
understand.
to give the big rundown. So when Night Rain first came out, the Iron Menial, I constantly kept calling him Night Rain C-3PO. Mostly because he was extremely courteous. He was a man-shaped automaton, and could communicate with those that not even the Nightfarers could, which leads to the Jar salesman Bazaar
Yeah,
fella in the corner. He's small and round like R2D2, doesn't speak directly, and offers us very useful items. And then I was thinking, wait a minute, does that mean? And then I looked at Wilder and I was like, oh no, both him and Luke Skywalker become a sword wielding man on a quest to defeat the Dark Lord after the death of his family, meeting his long lost sister in the process, and then the Duchess and Princess Leia, a young woman who is adopted into a prestigious family who gets embroiled into a large scale conflict that she finds her long lost brother in the process and joins him to the cause.
awesome.
And I was like, wait a minute. Then I thought Hilster and Darth Vader, yeah, a Dark Lord, more metal than man, but also like prone to subtle acts of kindness from time to time, um, and constantly putting their iron grip and enclosing what's little left of the good people.
When I first
And
read,
then, like,
when I first saw you
go ahead.
post this theory, I think you put it on Discord, didn't you? I was,
Yeah, it's still
yeah.
there.
It was amazing, man. It was amazing. It was great. I love it.
But then there was like characters that I wasn't too sure about. Like, who would Han Solo be? And I thought, wait, if the Raider was hitting on the Duchess and Han hits on Leia, then oh my goodness. And then Lando even calls him a pirate, and the Raider used to be a pirate. And I was like, wait a minute, wait a minute. And the pieces kept falling in line. And I was like, wait, Lando is Han's buddy, and the Iron Eye is the Raider's buddy for the tournament arc. I was like, wait a minute. And he betrays us to the Dark Lord. Well, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what about Chewbacca? And it's like, well, sure, Iron Eye and Raider are buddies in the same way Han and Chewie are buddies. But I thought, what about the Guardian? Because like they both are like animal people, in the loosest sense of the word, and they're very fierce and loyal and pretty powerful in their own right. And I was like, wait a minute. And I was thinking about that one scene in Revenge of the Sith where Yoda was like talking to Chewbacca. I was like, wait, why is Chewbacca there? Isn't he like? And then I learned that Wookiees are way old. Like, oh, that makes sense. But then I was like, wait, if that's the case, then and then the Recluse has a history with the Guardian. It's like, oh no, right, right. And then like a reclusive sage living in the woods. Yeah, that
Right.
makes sense.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then I was thinking more and more. I was like, who else do we have? What about Executor? He's an old warrior from an ancient group of knights.
Obi-Wan.
Who's yeah, and Obi-Wan Kenobi, haunted about their past, but like still hopeful for the future or whatever.
Have you have you decided? Have you figured out who the Scholar and the Undertaker are?
I'm still working on that, but the closest I came to the Revenant was Leia saying, "Aren't you a little short to be a stormtrooper?" And that was pretty much it.
All right, man. Well, that's great. That's fantastic, man. Everybody give out applause. I don't know if you
Yeah,
know that.
thank you.
That's a
I
great
take
theory,
a
man.
bow.
I love that. I love that look at it, man. Anyways, well, thank you for coming on the show, man. I appreciate it so much, and I love the conversation. I appreciate it.
Hey, it's been fun. It's been fun.
All right, man. We'll hear from you next time, man.
Oh, you most certainly will. You have a good one.
You too, man. Bye.
Bye.
All right, let's see. I think. Oh, what is going on? I'm gonna have to get like a better program one day. All right, here we go. So the next person we have in queue, they've been waiting a long time, is not Godwin. Uh-oh. All right, hopefully he's there, not falling asleep. Oh, nope. Hold on. I need to do this first. Dun dun dun. Not Godwin. Here you are. There you are. Are you there? Can you hear us?
Hi.
Hey, how's it going?
Wonderful. It's wonderful to hear from you, Golden Inquisitor.
Oh, thank you, man. Nice to hear from Not Godwin as well. So, would you like to start with the question of the week, or just jump into another topic?
So I'm a little late to the broadcast, and I was wondering if anybody had talked about the false great runes in Night Reigns DLC yet.
Interesting. No, nobody's brought that up yet.
Well, there's 2 divine towers that we find out. Oh, by the way, this is kind of like spoilers for Night Reigns DLC.
Okay. Let us know, man.
But
we're listening.
Hailstorm himself has a great rune that in its item description it says like it's false and stuff. There's also another fake great rune in the DLC on the top of these divine towers.
Really?
That you climb up to. It actually gives you a little bit extra merc at the end of the mission. Which is kind of cool in a weird covenantous nature, but really it's kind of hinting at this ability the Nox have to duplicate things, which is very like mirror coded. I get that, but it was really trippy for me as a player to find out that the origin of this technology came from Matir because of those weird fingerprint coffins we find in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC.
Yeah. You see a connection between those?
Well, they do the same thing. They're like a soul photocopy machine.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Okay. Huh.
If we think about it, there's like 5 or 6 moons in the game. If we count the Nox's Black Moon, Ronnie's Dark Moon, Renala's Full Moon, the regular moon we see in the sky, the one we see in the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC, and the one we see in Limfeld.
And I think there was a video. Somebody had found one behind the other moon or something like that. A little golden.
Oh yes, yes, my good and wonderful sensei, Scum Mage Infa. He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah, so that's a lot of moons.
It's so many moons. I hope there's 8 in the end.
Oh really? Why, to match the fell eye or whatever?
8 seems to pop up a lot everywhere. 16 seems to pop up a lot everywhere. You know that weird room right where a lion jumps you in Stormvale and you can like walk directly towards the Divine Tower? In that room with all of the Banished Knight sort of statues, you could never see this. You have to use like free cam, but the roof of that structure has like 16 icons in a ring all around it, and I can prove it because my good friend Metaphor on Discord. He has a wonderful archive of all this sort of stuff. He's kind of like playing Pokemon Snap
Really?
through Elden Ring. He has a wonderful archive of all of these areas, and he's just I think he's just wrapping up Liurnia, I think right now. He might be farther down, but
Oh wow.
it's amazing what he's discovering, all these little juicy things that we'd never actually get to see as a player.
Oh man,
mean-
that's what irks me about FromSoft, man. It's like, oh man, how's like the normal, PS5 player or the non-modding person gonna see all this stuff, man? Man, I'm glad for people like that, man.
Yeah, I'll send you a link to his Discord just
Yeah.
so you can promote it because it's good. It's good stuff. Anyway, I wanted to ask you about the message I kind of sent to you earlier, talking about this whole concept of mercy and bail. If you maybe had any thoughts of that.
Of Mercy and Bale?
Yeah, because
I don't
Bale has a weird dying animation.
Okay. Oh man, did you send me something? I don't remember reading anything.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
All right, tell me and I'll ask.
I'll tell you right now. It's okay.
Okay.
Bale dies weird. He raises his right sort of bone chicken arm up to the sky and gets struck by yellow lightning and dies.
Uh-huh.
And it's specifically yellow lightning during his weird flame lightning fight, and I was really confused about that. Anyway, it's the very first. This is so wonderful because I'm just realizing now that you're wearing a helmet pertinent to this whole discussion. So the very first item I feel that we find in the Shadow of the Earl Tree, the Shadow of the Earl Tree DLC, like when we get to the Shadow Realm, Jumbo. So we get the Blade of Mercy talisman, which is bent in a certain way to look like a keyblade, sort of like in a circular horn shaped, which looks a lot like Bale's face. And right where you meet Bale's first son, like that first Drake that uses flame lightning in the DLC, there is a stone sculpture to the left of Bale's face. And you're like, holy shit, Bale's using rocks like Legos. He's
Oh.
like fusing them together in the shape of his own face. But then I realized it's a call out, it's a cry for mercy. And I actually realized going through all of the Souls games that this is a really, really common theme in the Souls games is the
The redemption? Not a redemption.
it's to honorably end the suffering of a compatriot or a loved one. It's a very tender subject, is why I'm kind of tripping over my own words here.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So you think Bale in his death pose and with the lightning that he was all this time he was seeking some type of mercy for what he did, for his act of treason, I guess, against Placidusax and the god that fled?
Probably just an end to his suffering in general.
Okay. I mean, you're oh man, I've never thought about that. I never saw it that way at all. That's really interesting. And this is what I love about this game. I'm really gonna have to think on that because I don't man. Because if Bale, I don't think his suffering can end if you consume his heart and his essence or whatever he is continues to grow inside the person again, right? If you read that from the item description of his heart or whatever. I mean,
that's why he'd have a greater need for mercy.
Right. But if the lightning hits him, right, and then I think it's just, man, I don't know. I don't think he would get the mercy. I don't think he would at all. He might be crying out for mercy. Don't get me wrong, but with the golden lightning hitting him, I think it's just the final act of, retribution. There's your punishment, from the higher ups or whatever gods were Placidusax was playing with. But yeah, that makes him like a really tragic figure. In the end,
it would.
Hmm.
After this, I looked up all of the enemies that have like lightning weaknesses and found that it's usually just slimy stuff or factions that are kind of like demanding. It's kind of hubris coded, like they're kind of getting uppity with the gods.
Uh-huh. Oh man, dude, that's you blew my mind. Wow. And where I've never seen this statue either. You were talking about that Bale's first son. You said
Yes, it's where you
where is
encounter
this?
the first Drake. It's right outside of after you defeat the Dragon Man.
Uh-huh.
That usually kills people a lot with his katana as a boss. It's directly out there. There's a big pile of dead drakes everywhere, but there's
Right.
one alive in the middle of a puddle, and he's sleeping, and he uses flame lightning.
Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. So you think that's Drake's son, or not Drake? You think that's Bale's son also? Is that like
I,
an internal game file thing, or is it
no,
something
no,
you see?
no. That's just how I describe him.
Oh,
Really,
okay. Man, that's interesting. I'll have to look. I really have to look. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have to look because I've never even considered that as an option or anything. When I always thought about Bale, it was always why did he betray? Why would he attack Placidusax? Right. That's what I always thought about, but I never thought about like a tragic wanting mercy, like a mercy killing or whatever. Um, wow, that's something to think about, man. There really is. I have to.
yeah, you'll find it's a really common theme throughout all of the Souls games.
Is it really? Maybe I missed. Maybe I'm just cold blooded. I've never. I never
No,
seen.
it's very hard to pick up on. It's
Oh
okay.
man. Or could it be that you're just reading that into that?
I could definitely be, but I guess we all could.
Well,
It's
right.
we all look at
Yeah.
an object like from a different perspective, and it's a different shape.
Hmm. I'll have to look at it, man. That's amazing.
Oh yeah,
That's amazing. Because another thing, talking about dragons tonight, one of the comments in one of my videos said that I think it was Scum Mage Info, right? He had I think he made a video about the Rainbow Capital or something like that. Um, was it him? I think it
yeah.
was
He
him,
made a mod for it that
right?
you can download and like make the whole
Like
Rainbow Capital all
like the
rainbow
original
again.
like the original colors, right? Which
Yeah,
when I saw that video, it was amazing, right? Amazing work. Well, in one of my comments the other day, somebody was saying that you can see pieces of that brick tiles in Farum Azula, and they were telling me where to look. It was like at the balcony grace or something like that, and I went to go look at that, and you know what? That person was right. There is. It looks like that type of brick style of the multicolored bricks is there, but in the lower half of the building, and it was
oh,
amazing.
you'll love this. The dry leaf set is actually secretly rainbowy as well.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh wow. Oh, like do you have to have a mod for that or something or?
No, it's well, the mods just kind of crank up the saturation. They kind of just show what's already there.
Uh-huh. Okay, but could that be? I mean, if you're cranking it up, right? Could it be just like you're oversaturating a something that wasn't meant to be that saturated? I mean, sure, we can look at things and say that degradation over time, things fade and stuff like that. But was it that way in the beginning? Now that I think about it.
Well, that's the whole concept of tarnished. Really, is losing its luster. It's the colors faded.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
tarnish itself is kind of a green goo that gets over metal, but you know what I mean.
Right. I mean that's if you, but I okay. You could, but man? Now you got me wondering. Does that mean everything? Or just is it the faction of people that were tarnished, meaning just the eyes? Maybe that's just too low hanging fruit. I need to dig a little bit deeper.
Well,
Look,
at first I thought this was all due to the Sun Realm, this sort of rainbowy thing.
mm-hmm.
But then Night Rain came out, and now this sort of like weird night mycelium, oily drops from the sky kind of cover all of the condemned invaders in the game. These would be the characters that are underneath the giant tornado areas that look exactly like the Night Fairies and attack you and stuff, and they're just covered in this rainbowy
Uh-huh.
sort of version of the, yeah, it's weird. It's rainbowy version of this effect. So now I don't know what to think, to be honest.
Wow, man. You know, and I don't know about Night Rain, dude. Man, I don't Night Rain. I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to make of it. The take, because to me, Night Rain is like expanding on the world itself of Elden Earth, I guess. And it's fascinating, but I don't know if to take what they're revealing to us with a grain of salt, or is it a stone, or is it like a boulder that we can grow stuff on, or not grow stuff on, but build upon. Man, I wish I just want to play Night Rain, but I just can't stand that type of game. But so I'm relying on you and everybody else who plays Night Rain to let me know what the hell's going on in that game. Because
Oh man, I'm trying, man.
it's a hard game. And it's not like difficulty hard, but it's hard because of the gameplay style. I just want to stop and look around, not rush to the next boss.
Of course, you want to drink it in. I get that. I'm just notoriously bad at this game in general.
Wow, man. I'm gonna have to go look at this stuff, man.
Yeah,
Man,
you'd love it.
yeah, dude. Wow. Oh, okay, man. And anything else you're gonna blow my mind with, man? You got it. I mean, wow.
Yes. Since we're talking dragons and you love the whole war against the dragons, and it's a favorite topic you bring up, and we were talking about Mercy. This is something that blew my mind, just from my junk knowledge of like TikTok and like YouTube shorts. So,
Okay.
in a John Wick movie, he turns his samurai sword slightly at an angle to like show mercy to his opponent. Like, hey, we could do this a different way. We don't have to I don't have to kill you.
Okay.
In the Dark Souls 1 intro cinematic, Gwyn does that to a dragon. Like, you'd never think of this because it's like a very Western man holding a very Western sword, but like
Right.
this is a Japanese concept that he's actually showing mercy to the dragons before they throw down and shoot the lightning spears.
Wait, what? I didn't know this, man. I've seen that intro like a million times, man. I didn't know that's what that meant.
I wouldn't either because we're not Japanese.
Well, wow. Where'd you learn your information from, man? I gotta learn. I gotta know what's up.
I know this could be all bullshit. This could be all.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, could it? Maybe he was. Man, could that be why he let Seath, become a baron? And because he took mercy on him. Could it be at that point what we're seeing, or is it? Because when it comes to the trailers and stuff, right, or any of FromSoft games, I don't take the images. I try not to take the images as a consecutive events one after the other, but it's each scene like taken out of place and out of context. You know what I mean? And then they slap it all together and they make it look nice, and then they put a voice over it and some dialogue that doesn't make any sense to what you're seeing. But if you're not trained to scrutinize and question what you're seeing from FromSoft, it does make sense, sort of. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Uh, Big fans of Jack is a Magic. I think he proposed a theory that every time it fades to white, it's like a massive shift in time, and that light equals time sort of travel, sort of like when we touch the egg and it breaks in the Dark Souls 3 Ring City DLC, with how we get to Gale's boss fight.
Yep. Yeah. I'm a proponent of white light equals time, especially in yeah. But that's been back since like Dark Souls 3. But especially like when we see white light coming off the shadow tree at night, that lets me know that there's some type of time time funny stuff with time going on with the Shadowlands because I don't know what it is yet, but there's something fishy going on because
I
the light just goes from gold to white, then back to gold during the day. It's crazy.
Yeah, it does start out gold and then go pure white, doesn't it?
It does.
That night ray tree. I never considered that.
Yeah, and it's like and another thing that I don't ever hear anybody to speak of since we're talking about time also is that the Crucible bloom spell is also white light,
Yes.
right? And it's like,
Right.
that's Crucible, and that's supposed to be like primordial gold, like a reddish tint. Why is that? Why is that white? I don't know. There's too many. I don't know. I've thought about that at work while I'm digging with my shovel, and they're just like, well, I don't get it.
I think it has something to do with the lost goddess of light and compassion herself called Miranda, just from the cut content and how that was an item that sort of looked like America. You could use it to cast that exact spell.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, yeah. What was that? Miranda's prayer.
yeah, Miranda's prayer.
Yeah. See, and that's another thing that like with what I've seen talking about Miranda's prayer. I mean, just jumping topics. Sorry, and it's
No, please do.
that the Miranda's prayer and the way that looks and everything that we know, the way those creatures look, the Miranda flowers and stuff, reminds me of what the Balancers Everdark versions look like when they combine and they turn into that ulcerated tree spirit type thing. But at the beginning of it, it looks like a flower with a woman coming out of it. And as soon as I saw that, I thought, um, oh, that's Miranda or some type of a being adjacent to it or something like that.
Yes, something to do with those Church of the Bud sort of stuff and saints in general. I completely agree. It reminds me of an old Godzilla movie. It's actually my favorite, well, my second favorite
Oh,
Godzilla
you're talking about
movie.
Godzilla. Okay, here we go. I
Yeah,
love Godzilla.
have you heard of Biolante? It's just
Biolante. Yep,
yeah,
1997.
the Rose one. Yeah, that one.
No, I don't know. I don't remember what year it came out. I know it's in
It
90s
was
or something
It
like
was a
that.
doctor's attempt to like mix a girl's DNA with Godzilla and a rose just for kicks,
Yep.
and it turned out to be like a big kaiju that had a girl's spirit trapped inside of her. But anyway, that boss fight is insane because it is a giant blood ulcerated tree spirit coming at you, and it blooms in a petal that I think the bloom has 16 sort of petals as it
Really?
blooms out.
I,
Yeah,
I,
I count that shit.
I'll have to look at Bonfire's V end when he comes out with a video for that because man,
I know, right? We all gotta wait for him to grace our eyes.
I know, right? It's like, come on, bro, hurry up.
I couldn't wait. I drew the balancers before. Oh, by the way, I drew all the Night Lords just for my third video that I'm working on right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like to draw like little pictures of myself as my character and other little fun things.
Oh, so you're like an artist too? Are you good at drawing? Because
Yeah,
I stink.
I try. I'm slowly becoming one of what I guess what people are calling a PNG tuber.
What's that mean? I've never heard of it. Sorry.
It's kind of like regular lore tuber videos, but like they got a little character drawn in the corner that's usually moving their mouths or
Oh,
waving
okay.
their arms or something. You've probably seen one of those before. What's good? What's
Well,
a great example? I can't think of one.
I just found one the other day. It's a Japanese one. She was playing Night Rain, and I don't understand anything she was saying, but she was pretty good at the game. I was like, wow. And at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting ready for work, I was just listening and listening to the fight. And I was like, wow, what's going on? VTuber. That's yeah. You know what? I considered that one time, but I was like, nah, it's not for me. I was like, there's too much money. My
There is
money.
a lot you got to throw into that for
Yeah.
sure.
My money's low.
I'll never say never.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I was actually I was talking about you today to my friend
No
Calistro,
way.
and I was showing her your YouTube channel because I was like, is that not Godwin, the YouTube guy? And I was like, I I don't know. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, I saw that you had the 2 videos. And I was like, yeah, I've seen these. So I was like, I wonder if it is him. And it is
Oh,
you.
thanks, man. It
Man,
is I. It is I.
this guy's famous, y'all.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Oh, wow. Wow. Well, so let me since you're like a YouTuber and stuff, so what got you into doing lore videos, man?
I was just a big time fan. I loved the lore in general. I always wanted to do this, but what really pushed me was kind of a friend asked me about Godefroy. Like, what's up with Godefroy? And I couldn't say anything to him at the time, and I was stumped. But then I built my whole first video around a really cool theory about what's up with Godefroy. It's a kind of a really reoccurring thing that happens in the Elden Ring series of people being duplicated or fragmented. The best example is Millicent is the pride that Melania abandoned, and like Millicent has a lot of sisters, so who knows what they represent as each emotions.
Yeah.
So it's kind of this concept that people can be cloned like plants, and how in the cut content, Gostok is like weeping, saying he is the son of Godric,
Right.
and how he deserves better and all that, you know. There's lots of other examples. It's why there's 2 Vikes. It's why there's 2 Mogs. It's kind of reverting back to how we were talking about the Nox and Matir's weird fingerprint coffins and this duplication magic.
Man. And so just to answer a friend's question that got you into it. That's it. Man.
Yeah, it kind of spurred me on to it. Is what is up with Godefroy? And I just kind of took it as a personal challenge for sure.
Amazing. Amazing, dude. See, that's amazing. You know what?
Thanks.
Oh wow. I don't know. Because I watched like Jack is a Mimic, and it was like episode 87, I think it was. And I've been watching his stuff since like episode 1. And I've just been, playing along and listening, and then one day it was the same way. I was just like, I forget what he said, but he said something that like spurned me. No, not spurned me. It riled me up, and I was like, I got to make a video. This, and so yeah, so he'll always be the GOAT for me. Even if one day he just decides just to like disappear and just like, I'm like, man, that guy was the best at it. But he's better than Vadi. I mean, I said it, but I mean it too. So it was just amazing. I was just like, man, and
Yeah, he's a wonderful pillar of the community.
he really is. And his last video I was watching where he says that that he always thinks of himself like lower than he is. I'm like, what are you talking about, bro? You're like the pinnacle, man, in my opinion. And sure, a lot of things, he says, about being mimics and stuff. I don't agree with all of it, but his passion and his enthusiasm for his theory, that's what drives me. That's what, draws my attention to his videos and stuff like that. It's like, man, dude, if that's what I like, when you can hear somebody's passion and their enthusiasm in what they're doing, that I love that, and there's like, I don't want to get too far into it, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's good stuff. Anyways,
I agree. When that enthusiasm shines through, it's really beautiful.
Yeah, it really is. So you said it better than I did.
Oh, sure. Fun fact for you, man.
Tell me.
In the cut content, the sanctuary stones, most people take them as like chunks of Fair Missoula.
What was that?
The sanctuary stones, the crafting items,
Okay.
those little chunks of cement that you can use to make prism stones, and I think healing warmth stones, but I'm not sure. It's those in the cut content used to be glowing green, so it kind of hints that possibly Fair Missoula was glowing green at one point.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to content, right? I'm a proponent for it if it makes logical sense, I guess. Because there's because I believe that some stuff, FromSoft hides. They're like, oh, that's too much. Let's take it out. And even though it makes sense. Kind of like, for example, like the most recent thing, in my opinion, is the Imperium Grand Dam, right? And they changed it, they changed it to the Hornsnake Grand Dam.
Yeah.
I think they decided that gave too much information, or people could be able to draw too many connections, and so they're like, let's hide it. And so, but with the idea of the green one, right? The green sanctuary stones, I'm not sure if that's actually something significant or just they made a mistake. You know what I mean? Because a whole could it be like the Emerald City from the Wizard of Oz then?
Yeah, maybe they thought that was a little too on the nose. Who knows? It's wild, man. Like George R. R. Martin used to write for the Beauty and the Beast show. It gets crazy what people can put together. But I think so. My personal motto when it comes to Elden Ring lore is believe nothing, entertain everything. Try to keep an open mind. Don't get really attached to one idea because then you become dogmatic. You become the enemy.
Exactly. And yes, man. I agree 100% with that. And that's why when I read people's comments and replies, even if they're like these long dissertations on the comments, man, I will read that and I will sit there and I'll think about it. And so a lot of those are like really good. But I mean, I agree with it. So, but it's the idea that they put that much work into it. I'm going to read it, and I'll try to keep an open mind because a lot of times, it can change my perspective. Just like the comment about the bricks in Fair Missoula being just like the ones in Lindell. I mean, if I think you really do have to keep your mind open to different ideas and stuff like that, because otherwise, you're gonna be missing out, man. Because it's a giant mystery, right? And everybody's seeing things from a different perspective and bringing their own bias, and which will be something that maybe you missed, like for instance, today you're talking about Bale's hand, or his chicken wing up in the air for the mercy, Gwen's flicking of the sword for the mercy thing, and the statue. I would never realize this or even learn this if I wasn't open to hearing what you or anybody else has to say. It's amazing stuff.
I implore all of you, just stare at the blade of mercy and think about it.
I'm gonna have to now. I'm gonna have to sit there and look at that and be like, man, you're blowing my mind today, man. Everybody
It's
is.
it's even like your helmet.
My helmet?
Oh yeah, the Hazel one.
Dude, what do you have to say about my helmet, man? Tell me, because to me it just looks cool.
No, it's beautiful. I love the silver flowers and everything. It's more the curved horns, perfectly like the blade of mercy.
Oh, really? Yeah, dude. You know what? Talking about the helmet, I didn't know that was flowers on there. I didn't know it was flowers.
Oh, really? Yeah. There's flowers on the whip too. Yeah.
Is there really? Yeah, I didn't know it was flowers until like maybe a year and a half into the game. Mimic flowers. I was like, what? And then I don't know. I was like, but Fashion Souls is key. That's the true in game. It's but I love it, and I just gotta find me a pair of pants that matches the. Well, Blights is the best I could figure out, but hopefully one day they'll add with the Tarnished edition, if it ever comes out, they'll add
Oh.
a lot more stuff.
Oh man, I didn't even think of that. We're all gonna have to reconsider our Elden drip when that comes out. Jeez.
And probably a bunch of the lore, because or at least sideways
Oh, that too.
horizontally, because with all this time that they've been, quotes working on it or whatever, and the way FromSoft and Miyazaki tend to lie to us or mislead us, I'll say that, mislead us in saying, oh, it's not that big, there's not going to be that much, it's only going to be the size of Limgrave, and then it's like this huge world. I don't believe that the Tarnished edition is just going to be a couple outfits and a couple reskin torrents. You know what I mean? I have this feeling that they're deceiving us for a big surprise, and it's going to be like this DLC number 2 or 1.5. You know?
Yeah, man. Ever since that pendant starting item, there are those that believe that he's just gaslighting us. Sometimes, it's
Oh, you know about the pendant? Yes, dude. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know what to believe.
I believe nothing until I see it, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
When it's coming from FromSoft, believe nothing, man.
Right.
Let's see. Anything else, man? Anything else before we call it a night?
Yeah, one quick thing. Speaking of silver flowers, my third video is all about the anti-graces, the things that take you back to the beginning of the dungeon, that sort of silvery smoke thing that has the same sort of root network. I'm going to try and talk about that.
Oh, I'm interested to see what your interpretation of that is. Man, let us know when you get that out.
I will do that.
Yeah, because for me, that tells me that it's the Crucible, but maybe I'll make a video on that one day.
I love where you're going with that.
Yeah, man. All right then, great, man. Yeah, thank you for coming to the show, man, and talking with us.
Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it, man. Wow. All right then. Yeah. Will you? Any last promotions or anything you want to? I'll let you do it.
No, I'm good. Thanks. I'm just grateful to be on here, man. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, man. Well, have a good night.
You too.
Thanks.
Happy holidays.
You too, man. Merry Christmas. Oh, sorry. Happy holidays. Take it easy.
You too.
All right. So that's going to be our last caller for the night, because it's getting close to 9:00, and I like to, end my stream by 9 because I got work in the morning, unfortunately. But as for the question of the week, ladies and gentlemen, for me, when Enya mentions seeing two great runes together once before, and whose runes was she referring to, and which Tarnish held them, I was in line with Vike. Vike, in my opinion, is the closest one to it. I also believe, part of me believes that one of them is Ronnie's, because we don't know what she did with hers, right? But part of me, when it comes to that, part of me also believes that when she uses the word discarded or whatever, or Gideon uses the word discarded, part of me wants to say that it's a metaphor for breaking the rune. I don't believe it's on the moon. But also, a majority of me thinks that the two runes that Vike or Banal had, a majority of myself believe that the runes that they had were original runes, kind of the ones like we see, what's their names? I forget. Goldmask, Dung Eater, Fiamake. I'm leaning towards this more and more every day as I think about the game, that these people made their own great runes. And sure, they may have gotten one from someone else's, maybe Ronnie's, maybe somebody else's, because there's other demigods that are dead. But the more I think about it, the idea that these people are making their own great runes falls more in line every day, because if you have enough faith, or you believe in something, or you have enough willpower, you can make a one. The mending runes, and you can insert them into the Elden Ring. And I think that's what they did. I think at least one of them was that, when it came to the great runes, and the other ones were an original rune of the Elden Ring. And that's what I think. I also think that the Glowmine Queen made her own Destined Death rune, but that's another topic for another day. Yeah. So that's where we're at. We had a lot of great conversations today, ladies and gentlemen. It was amazing. Boss came. He brought us the generations. Great. Jacko came in. Godwin came in. Who else came in? I think it was the three of them, right? But they had so much to say, and that's what's amazing about the game. There's so much in it that each of us can bring something special to it. But oh well, it's a great game, and yeah, it's time to go, ladies and gentlemen. Come back next weekend. You know what? Well, let's go again next Sunday. Another call in. Join the Discord and get the new question of the week. And yeah, I'll post that here in a little bit. I think it was oh yeah, I did write it down. I think it was Jackal that inspired me for the new question of the week. You know what? Let me read it to you here. Let me see if I still got it pulled up on my documents. Question of the week. Where is it? Question of the week. Here it is. It's going to be somewhere along these lines. Question of the week coming up is, okay, if the Two Fingers want us to become Elden Lord, what about Radigan? That's the question. That is the question. What about Radigan? So yeah, I'll see y'all next week. I'll be streaming tomorrow, regular time, 7:00 Texas time. So yeah, see y'all tomorrow, and hope to hear from you next week on Sunday. Take it easy, y'all.